Okay, so we're here back again. So we've just been over the difference between a bitmap and a vector-based image. I'm going to bring in another logo for you to have a look at. So I'm going to go File, Import on the left-hand side. And I want to bring in, let's just jump back to the course documents. I want to bring in the beer logo. One of my favourite beers from Spain. Okay. Now I want to show you just how pixelated this is, and this is going to cause you problems. Say your customer brings this in and you're going to need to redraw this. It's tricky, okay? This is going to happen a lot. People are going to find images off the internet. Obviously you can't reproduce logos like this for resale because these are all copyrighted logos, so just bear that in mind. If someone brings you along a football logo from your favourite football team, you can't sell that, okay? You can't reproduce it. You can reproduce it to show people what you can do. You can't reproduce it for resale or profit. That is different, obviously, if you do have authorization from the club. Okay, but just make sure you always get it in writing. You don't want anyone coming back like trading standards and shutting you down. Okay, so this particular logo, if I got this, I would probably say to them, come on, can you give me a better image? But there is, you can redraw this, okay? So we will look into redrawing it. Let me zoom back out so you can just see this logo. So what we've got here with the Coca-Cola logo is a very simple, nice, clean logo to draw. And when you're drawing any particular logo, you need to be thinking about what process you're going to be using. So if you've only got a cutter, this logo is going to be very difficult for you to use. And you would need to think about speaking to the customer about reducing it down. But even if this was just like a solid yellow at the background here, and you were going on to a dark colour t-shirt, you'd have to have so many different layers that by the time you'd finish, this would feel like a hard piece of plastic printed on the front of the t-shirt. So it would be fine if you just wanted the San Miguel running through the middle, and you were just printing or cutting, sorry, the red and the green. Fair enough. And also similar if you were printing this, cutting this or putting it onto a white t-shirt, then you're going to have a rather large cut block pressed onto the t-shirt. It's going to feel plasticky even though it's going to be one sheet. So you would probably want to think about using the logo in the opposite way around, which would be in this case having just the Coca-Cola part of the logo in red like so, and not having the solid block, and that would give you this sort of logo, and that would look really good because the machine would just go off, it would cut that, and you'd just be end up with that printed across the front of the t-shirt. Very cool. Obviously if you're going to actually cut this, what you would have to do is you have to cut it in mirror, which by highlighting the whole object on the bar at the top there, you would mirror it horizontally. That is because the t-shirt vinyl has to be cut in reverse, in mirror image, because the portion that you cut is the portion that actually gets pressed onto the garment. So I'm going to flip that back around so we can see it. Okay. So if we were to draw an object like this, a logo, what we would be looking to do is probably, I would use the Bezier tool, and it's just something that I've been used to using for a long time. If I try to use a freehand tool, it's just really going to be very difficult to try and trace. You're just not going to get a clean draw all the way around. So let me just show you the Bezier tool and why I think it's a brilliant little tool. So let's click on that left hand mouse button, and I want to zoom in. So looking at this, I would like to make this first C swish. So it doesn't really matter where you start. I mean, I probably would start just here. So I'm going to click once, and let's put my first point down. Now, as you can see, this arc comes out here. So you could put a point in here and click here and click here, and that would give you this sort of shape. So, and as you can see, it is quite square, okay, and you don't have any shape. So when I first started drawing, that was a way that they taught you how you could actually draw. But what I would say is, what you can do then is you can go back to your shape tool, you see, and you can select that node and you can make it a smooth point. Now, if I made that a smooth point, I could then remove that, like double click it, and that would give me this smooth area. Well, that's a real pain in the bum to draw. So let's just highlight that area and press delete. So let's go back to the Bezier tool, and what we do now is we click at that first point, and then here I'm going to click, but I'm not going to release. So I've just got to think about how this flow works. So I'm going to click at this point, and then I'm going to pull my mouse in this direction, okay, to the bottom left-hand corner. And as I do that, you can see it starts to follow that line. So if I get to this point and let go, it's giving me a nice arc or curve. So now I think, where is the next natural point this is going to come to before it really needs to change direction? So I would say around this sort of area, I'm going to put another point in. So I know from experience that I can actually probably get it from about here before I need to change direction. So I'm going to click here, and you can see it's almost got to that point. It's a little bit on the inside of the white, but if I pull towards the bottom right hand corner, you can see I've got a lovely shape there, almost perfect. I'm going to let go. Now I would say around this point here I need to go again, so let's do that, and I'm pulling in the direction that I want to go. Let go. Lovely. Now I know that I could probably get around to here, so I'm going to go off in this direction. Look at that. Amazing, it's like I've done it before. Now, if I want to zoom out, I'm going to roll back on the roller wheel. If I want to move this document, I'm going to click on the roller wheel and move this page around, okay? Now, as long as I don't click away, it's not going to be a problem. If I do, it isn't really a problem, but I just like to keep my workflow moving all the time. So I'm going to get around to this point here, and I don't want to keep saying the same old things over and over again, so just watch. I'm going to click down with the roller wheel, move over here. Now I'm just going to go a little bit off course, because what I want you to see is it's not critical that you get that absolutely bang on, because we're going to come back in a moment and we're going to just readjust it. So let's just go here, and oh, I couldn't quite get that in. I made the wrong point. Oh, let's change a bit of awkward direction here. And then I seem to get it back on track a little bit down here. Didn't quite make that. This is an awkward one. I've got to come back over here. I need to come back on myself. So I'm just going to make that happen by doing this. And you see that it's actually changed from a curve, and what we call this is a cusp. So it comes at an angle, goes back out at an awkward angle. Click here, and this is a nice little experiment. I'm going to, if you go on the internet, you can find this like just standard Coca-Cola logo, save the JPEG or PNG file, and then import it yourself, okay? And you can do that with any logo. There you go. So that's my first attempt at drawing. It's not too bad. We've got a few little issues there. When I came back up to this point here, if I go Control Z, it was actually open, and what I can do is I can just close that by going back to my Bezier tool, clicking on that one, clicking on that one, and that gives me you know, the close point. But also it just shows you if you did tick away at any point, you can just go and pick up the Bezier tool, click on one of the nodes, and carry on drawing exactly where you left off. So I want to change this just to improve my drawing, and what I'm going to use there is this shape tool here, okay? So when I select a node like so, it gives me some other options. So I can make it a straight line if I'm drawing like text and it's solid straight lines, and I don't want any curves. This is a cusp node which comes in and out at a sharp point, so this is almost a cusp here. And you've basically got a nice smooth curve. This is a curve point here, and I'll show you how we change these 2 points from straights to curves later. So let's just say I need to just adjust this particular one here. I can grab the node and move it around. I can grab the handles just to change the the positioning of that particular point or node. Here, I really need that to come back out at that angle there. So what I can do there is I can play around with the handles like so, or I could change that to a cusp, which would have given me a little bit more movement on this particular handle here. But yeah, it's not too bad actually. Just trim that in a little bit. Again, we came off track, didn't we, over the back here. So let's just pull that point and bring it in. Let me zoom out. We're using the roller wheel, and this one here we're going to put it in again. That one there is a little bit off. What I'm going to do, actually, I might be able to get away with not having that. The less nodes, the better, really, because you get a nice flow. I'm going to try taking it out and see what happens. So I'm going to double click on that node, and that's removed that particular one. It's made a bit of a mess. But if I grab that line and pull it in, it seems to work okay. This one here, I might be able to just tweak that with the handles. So pull it across, pull that one across, possibly. Yeah, not too bad. I'll live with that. Excuse me. Move this one down here. What I would say with this one, because this handle is quite, they're quite long, I would probably want to change this to a cusp. What that does, it makes the handles independent. So previously, if I moved this one, it would affect this particular portion of the line there. I don't really want that to happen, so I'm going to drag this handle, just give myself a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. So I've got that nice flow coming through here. Again, I'm going to highlight both those and make those a cusp, I think. So this one here now is going to give me my own independent handle there. And you can see it's quite small. Let me zoom in so you can see it's a little diddy handle. I've got it highlighted in a minute, so it's blue. I'm going to tick away, click on that one. There you go. Ooh, rubbish mouse mat here. Let's zoom that round. I want to get rid of this node just to see if I can make it work. Yeah, I can do that. And then let's change that there. We need to get a drink of water in a moment. Too much talking. Let me just grab some water. That's better. And around the back here. So let's pull that one down. We're almost there. And as you can see quite easily, you can really get this looking perfect. Pull that up. And I'm going to change that one to a cusp as well. So it just gives me a little bit more individual flexibility on that particular handle. For a quick sketch, I'll be quite happy with that. Let's change the colour of that to blue so you can see. And it's always good to actually go in and change the colour so you can actually get a better view of what's going on. I'll take that one out actually, see what happens. Yeah, I'll be quite happy with that. So just by taking that extra node out there, you can see like now how many points we really have got. Do you know, I'd be tempted to take that one out as well. Wow, look at that. So it just shows you that the points from here to here, I've just got that on one sweep. So that's by using, at this point here, that's a standard curve. And this one here is let's have a look at those handles. Yes, that's just standard curves. You see, they're not even cusps. Nice. So you can see quite quickly that we can build this up. Now, what I'd like you guys to do is, part of your coursework is to actually go off and I'd like you to draw this Coca-Cola logo. I think that's really good practice. Now, looking at something like the O there, this is where it starts to get rather interesting. So what you need to think about with this Coca-Cola logo is just running around the outside, okay? Forget about these inside points. They're going to be completely separate drawings. So the cutter needs to run right round. That's what all it's going to do, run around the outside. So we're going to jump in there. We're going to draw all the way around the outside, and then we're going to draw the two inner parts there. So I'll stop this video and then we'll move on and do that together. Okay, if you want to just go off and draw this Coca-Cola logo on your own and then come back and see how you got on, that's great. What I would say though is just draw the cola bit and then draw these two components and then jump back, and I'm going to show you then how to combine those to make those the next part. But if you want to stay, watch the next video and we're going to draw the cola part together.